Welcome to our ranking of the Nijigasaki solo songs, Tokimeki Runners Edition. I'm Callan.
I'm Honey Panda Bunny.
And today we'll be ranking the solo songs. I came up with the idea. I was just listening to the songs for fun and I thought it'd be interesting if I ranked them. And then I thought asking my sister just to compare how our songs were ranked. When I was going through the songs, it was mostly like listening from the first one and then just working my way down and sort of slotting them how it was.
Mine was more like listening to them for the first time, and then my initial reaction would be where my ranking was, because whichever made me feel the most passionate would obviously be higher on the list.
For me, first I listened to them for fun, and then I was listening to them again after I'd ranked them, just to see if my opinions changed. I think yours opinion changed after a second one, didn't it?
Yeah,
Without going into spoilers.
Mine did change after, because obviously mine was the initial listen and being like, okay, this is where I rank them. And then having listened to them a bit longer and a couple more times, and getting a feel for a couple more of the characters, my list changed slightly.
So what I did was I added up our two lists together, and then I halved them by 2, and then that's how we got our combined ranking together. We're going to show off both our individual ranks, and then obviously we'll show the combined one first, and then we'll show our individual ones afterwards. At number 9 is Anata no Riso no Heroine by Shizuku Osaka. Unfortunately, somebody has to be 9th, and I personally had a rank 9th as well. My biggest points from this song are that she's got a very strong and delicate voice, and it's actually a perfect fit for her character as sort of that elegant shoujo lady. And I think it quite fits as an anime ED song. If this was to be in the anime, I could very easily see it being the ED. But unfortunately for me, the song's a bit too slow. It's quite a long song as well. It's the longest one on the tracks, and it's not one that I'd re-listen to casually. What about you? Where did you rank it?
So I also ranked it the lowest on my list too. I thought that she had a very soft voice. It was very nice and calming, and it didn't feel strained in the slightest. It felt very natural.
Yeah, I agree. The voice is very strong,
but
soothing.
But my thing is, I usually listen to music when I'm drawing, and I can't ideally see this helping me have a pump to draw with. So it's really a very nice song, and it's very soft, and I have no issues with it, but just for my personal taste, it's not something that I would listen to very constantly.
I don't dislike any of the songs on the track. As we were re-listening to it before it, I quite enjoyed re-listening to it, and I actually really like the story of the song and the lyrics, which is becoming the ideal heroine. It's sort of her training to become the leading lady on a drama. This is her first step, her movement towards becoming the leading heroine. She's not quite there yet, but she's making progress. That's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, and it's really nice, because if you take into context the Lovelive game, so Sif, where she's just a normal card. She's not, you just feed her to other cards. It's nice to go, this character that's had this journey from being just an end card to suddenly becoming this big star now, and that big jump, of being perfect heroine, of being oh, I was once a normal card, but look, now I'm a pop star, an idol.
Yeah, I agree. That's actually quite a nice
yeah.
bit of symmetry, actually. So good luck, Shizuku, as you make your way to becoming your ideal heroine. At number 8, we have Yume e no Ippo, One Step Closer to My Dreams by Ayumu Uehara. Where do you have this on your ranking?
So I have this as number 8 on my ranking, but I used to have it as number 7. So it changed, and that's just because I was listening to it again and I quite liked her voice, but another one came over me a bit more and I started to like it a little bit more. It's not that I hate her voice, and it's not that I hate the song. I don't hate any of them. I kind of fell out of love with it a little bit, and I think it's just because, again, didn't have that pop there that I really need for when I'm drawing or when I'm doing stuff in the day. I really like having poppy music that's really energetic, and I didn't think it quite hit that note for me. But again, we have a very soothing, soft voice, which is nice, very chill, very calming, but just not something that's for my personal taste.
I have this ranked at 7. So again, not particularly high, but I do have it slightly higher than you. For me, I actually think that this is sort of like the quintessential Lovelive song. If I was to think of like Lovelive, this kind of is it. It's very energetic, it's warm, strong voice. As I said, it's simple and effective for what it is. Like even the title, One Step Closer to My Dreams, almost feels like could be the first episode title. And this could even be like the opening, I think. But going along with what you're saying, the song's just, it's a little bit too safe, the theme's a bit too repetitive, a little bit overdone. This is sort of like the basic. We only get stronger from here.
Yeah, it's like, I initially coming into All Stars and with like Nijigasaki, I think that's their name.
Nijigasaki.
There we go, Nijigasaki. It's a very nice new group of people and they all look amazing, and coming into it I was like, oh, I hope they really bring something like new to the table, because we've had a lot of like similar archetypes in the first season to the second season, so I was really hoping that we'd get something like new. I'm not saying that I dislike the usual idol, but I was really excited to see like, oh, what's new, what's popping with the new like idol group, and having this felt like, oh, it's a little bit of the same. Like I was getting very like Hanukkah vibes from it, which isn't bad, and that could just be a me thing of being like, oh, I've fallen in love with all of the other ones so much that I can't separate it, so it probably is a me thing. But I was hoping that it would be a bit more like different, but then again, her character in the story, from what I gather, is a little bit different in the sense of she's like the school friend, like it's different in that sense, but I don't get it through the music, if that makes sense.
As I said, I was ranking them as I was listening to them, so for a lot of the other songs, sort of judging it against this song, which is unfortunate to the song. I think Ayumu, her voice, as I said, is quite strong and delicate, so I'm definitely interested in seeing like her try something more unique. And another thing as well I found is that the songs are all sort of the first step. Like this is a thing I've noticed in the previous song as well as this one, is it literally is one step closer to her dreams, as it feels like the best is yet to come. At number 7, we have Tokimeki Emotion by Rina Tenolji. This song's about her struggling to convey her emotions, her feelings, but taking that leap anyway. For me, I actually have this ranked a little bit higher. I have this ranked at 5. Compared to obviously the 7 we've given it here. When I was re-listening to the song, because when I came into it, I actually thought maybe I'd overrank this song quite highly. But listening to it again, I actually really like the beat, I really like the sound, the cutesy techno pop, and I think the technology theme's quite fitting for Rina's character. And I just generally actually really enjoyed re-listening to it. Where did you rank it?
I ranked this at 7, so I really like the song. I think it's super cute. It's very like poppy and get-go and like, hey. I actually thought when I was listening to it, because I listened to them all for the first time, wrote down my immediate thoughts on it. I really like the techno, like 8-bit sounds, and she had a very unique voice for me, I tend to find. But for me, it's not that I disliked it, because I didn't. I really liked it. It's just some of them just beat it a little bit for me. But I did actually find like this is a really weird thing when I was listening to it. I was like, oh, this would work really well in like a love like dating sim, because I think it has that very like cutesy like, oh, I want to be like better, I want to get to know you, I want to stop being like shy, which I think like works really well.
I do have a slight issue with the song though, from the idea that she's shy, because the song itself feels quite like energetic and upbeat, but she's shy. So I feel like there's just a slight disconnect there between her personality and her voice when she's singing.
In my case of like thinking of it that way, sometimes you can actually be like a very energetic person, but you just don't have the confidence. So I didn't really have an issue with that, because obviously she's hiding her face. So it could be like when she's got that mask on, she's able to be more energetic and herself. It's just that anxiety that stops her from being herself a little bit. So I didn't think of that as much of like an issue for the song for me.
Another issue I kind of have as well is, while I think the music is quite unique, I find that the music kind of overpowers her, like especially at the start. It's really bombastic. It takes a moment for you to really like get into her voice for me. And as well, as I said, it's like solid throughout, but I find it never really reaches like any high highs. It's just, you know, straight up a very good song.
Yeah, I think it's like a very good song, but it has a lot of, it's hard to say of like emotion, if that makes sense.
Ironic.
I actually think like when she's singing, she actually has like a lot of like ups and downs, and it shows her character in a different way. And again, like I was saying, I think she's able to do that as an idol because she's got like her face hid, and she knows that she'll be okay, and she can do things at her own pace, which I think is like an important step for her.
So in a way, struggling with her emotion, quite fitting to the song. So Rina will remain at number 7 for now. At number 6, we have Nemureru Mori ni Ikitai na, I Want to Go to a Forest Where I Can Sleep, by Kanata Konoe. Where did you have this one ranked?
So, on my original list, I actually had this ranked really high. It was my number 3, and then it ended up dropping down to number 5 for me, but it's still like one that I really, really like. I love that it's like really calm and soothing, and it's like so cute. And I didn't think that it was too soft and slow. I found it was like slow at the beginning, which was like a nice ease into like a really nice pop that wasn't too over the top for me, that I find that would be really nice to draw to. It also like really reminds me of like a bedtime story, which was obviously like perfect for the character. And I really liked very like whispered, soft voice. I thought it was very like unique. It had character to it, which I really liked. And for some reason, it really reminded me of Animal Crossing at one point.
For me, I had this ranked to 8. I didn't change my ranking at any point, and I think 8 is where I'll still keep this song. For me, it is too slow, unfortunately. I know you said that you found it not too slow, but I just can't see myself listening to this casually. I will say, though, it really fits a character as sort of like that sleepy. Like, it feels like you could, like, wrap up in sheets, listen to this song, and very easily nod off. Could also be a case against it as well, making you go to sleep. I don't really see myself listening to it, coming back to it. I will say, because it's the shortest song, it's an easy listen to, like it never outstays its welcome. And I think the theme is unique, but I also find like the theme's also maybe a bit too plain, where it's literally just about going to sleep.
I actually really like it of, you know when you wake up in the morning and you've got a lot of stuff to do? It embodies that feeling of, look, I'm awake but I want to go back to sleep, that I think all of us have, so it's like a big mood for me, a big mood song. So it's one that I tend to listen to like either early in the morning when I've gotten up, or really late at night before I go to bed. So yeah, it does have like a time limit on it for me, I guess, which is the reason why it did kind of drop down to 5, because no song should ever have like a time limit on it, and it doesn't necessarily have a time limit on, but for me, those are the only times I can really find myself listening to the song.
I will say that every time I listen to the song, I do like it a little bit more. Maybe not now, but within a few years, I could easily see myself maybe ranking this a bit higher, but we'll have to agree to disagree here, as she sits in the balance at number 6, Kanata Konoe. At number 5, we have Evergreen by Emma Verde. I have this ranked at number 6. I think the intro to this song is actually amazing. I really love the intro. It's like this chanting, fairy tale almost like feeling. It's amazing. As soon as I hear the song, I instantly want to start clapping along. Wonderful on the ears. Where do you have this ranked?
So in my original list, it was ranked number 5, and then it got knocked down to number 6. Again, some girls just ended up beating other girls. I thought it was very whimsical and like very unique, and again, I really liked the opening as well, and I thought it was very unique to that character, but the chorus ended up ruining it a little bit for me, where it started going a bit too more idol than I would like. But I thought that she had like a very nice voice, and it really reminded me of like Hanyo. She had a very like Hanyo aesthetic to her, but still was her own like unique self.
Yeah, I feel the rest of the song after the intro doesn't quite live up to it. The rest of the song kind of suffers just because the intro is so amazing. Like, I think if the song had kind of maintained that quality, I've easily had this song as a top 3. Oh, another thing as well is I quite like, because she's sort of the token foreign character of the group, it feels like they're more exploring songs from outside of Japan and bringing that in, which is something I don't think they did it much with like Ellie and Mattre.
Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, like, the song actually reminds me of Shikata Akiko, which she makes very whimsical music as well that is fantasy. It really reminds me of like an RPG in like a fantasy world with, you know, like elves and everything like that. So it's got like a very whimsical aspect to it. But again, like, also it's nice to go outside of that zone that's music that's not necessarily the traditional like idol music, and get inspired by other areas, which was something that I liked about this song, and kind of like about Rina's song as well, having that like 8-bit aesthetic to it. So it's nice that they're getting bits and bobs from different areas and bringing it and incorporating it into the music that we get now.
So we'll all go to the Evergreen with Emma at number 5. At number 4, we have Chase by Setsuna Yuki. I had this song also ranked at 4. I think subjectively, online, it's considered the best one. Setsumi, I think, is the most popular. And it is a good song. This is the point, like the top 4 are all songs that I actually really enjoy, so we're reaching the ones that I personally are my favourite. Chase is definitely very good. It's got that shonen quality that you'd have in an OP, sort of like challenging, bombastic. Particularly just before she hits the chorus, I almost get chills as she goes into it. What about you? I know you quite like this one.
Yeah, originally it was at my number 4 and then ended up becoming my number 3. So it's in my top 3 now, which is pretty cool. Again, I thought it had that like really nice rock but also cutesy with it, so I was really happy that we're going into more of the rock songs, because those have always been like more of my favourite with the Lovelive kind of aesthetic. I've always liked the more like rocky songs. Again, it reminded me of an anime opening. It really reminded me of Lisa's voice, so she has a very nice, like, obviously like shonen aesthetic voice. It was nice to have a voice as well that's a bit more tomboyish. I thought her voice was a bit more tomboyish instead of overly cutesy or girly, which was really nice.
While I personally have my other songs ranked higher, I will agree that her voice is the best one. Although, as I said, I prefer the other ones. But I think aesthetic perspective, her voice is good. But the slight issue I have with it is it's not something that personally appeals to me. So while I do enjoy the song, it's stuff like that that just drags it down for the 3 above that I have. It's almost like the other half of like a Yumu's. Like a Yumu's one step closer to my dreams, and we've got Chase here. Both are about like taking that step forward and like not giving up.
And you have like different aesthetics of it, of like a Yumu, it's very like soft of, oh, one day I will, like I hope and I will, and then you've got this song with Setsuna where it's like, I'm going to, without any like anything stopping me, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like with this song, you definitely get her personality. It's a song that is full of personality. That'll be Setsuna at number 4. At number 3, we have Diamond by Kasumi Nakasu. This song is about her polishing her skills, similar to a diamond, to eventually become the number 1 idol. Where do you have this one ranked?
So originally this one was ranked really low on my list at 8. Really low, because I didn't quite get a feel for it, and at the beginning I was like, oh, maybe this is a bit too like popsy idol for me. And then I was listening to it a couple more times and like read the lyrics, and I was like, oh, I really like the differentiation between like the rival part in it with the like regular part, and I was like, oh, it's got a lot of character in there. And then it ended up being bumped all the way to number 4 for me, so it went up 4 places.
I love this song. I love everything about this song. I love that it goes from like the Genki to the playful, it gets across her trickster character to almost challenging, it even gets her like little silly bit in there, and then it goes like softer, it goes contemplating, she almost gets solemn at times, and then going straight back up to her Genki self. I love the flow of the song, I love the flow of the story. It almost feels like it's the perfect song to see live. Got that interaction with the audience. In a way, the song, from like the lyrics, it's not just her singing it to the crowd, it's almost like singing it to herself as well. It's almost like her doubting herself at certain points in the song. Like in certain parts of the song she'll say like, oh, am I being too annoying? And then it's almost like she's trying to get the crowd to like cheer her up. So I absolutely love this song.
Anxiety, the song. Anxiety in music, TM.
It's not the so. Actually, I do like it because it's sort of like her building herself up, like literally polishing it, like making sure that this diamond that she is has become stronger. Every now and then she has like these little bits of doubt in her. It's just a nice little bit of character that I like to it. It's like, in my opinion, it's the only one of the 9 songs where it's getting multiple aspects of her character just through the song. Like most of the songs I find like to just focus on one aspect, and then that's kind of like it throughout the whole song, but it's the one where it feels like there's the most depth to it. It also feels like she's the one that is generally trying the hardest to improve and sort of become an idol. For me, I think that this literally is like literally the perfect debut song for her.
Yeah, it's really good. I really like it. Like I said, it bumped all the way up to 4 for me. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the cheeky aspects of her.
So it's not all love and rainbows. I will mention like a couple of slight issues I have with it, even though, as I said, I think the song's great, is I think maybe the chorus is repeated a couple of too many times, especially towards the end. While I love like the flow of the tones from serious to melancholy to playful, I can imagine might clash with other people, but for me it's not an issue.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine for me as well. I originally, obviously, on my initial viewing of it was like, oh, maybe this is a bit too cutesy. But then when you really find out about her character and then listen to the song, it's like, oh, okay, this has like improved it for me. So that was my only like real issue of, oh, maybe this is a bit too stereotypical.
What is it about the song that puts it just below the ones that you have above it?
I love her character, but I really like the rock aspect of Chase, so I've always liked rock music. I like the cutesy genkiness of one of the other characters, but it's not genki in the sense of, oh, all together it's this character cheering you on, and then with another one it's like, it's really techno and nice. So it's the difference is the reason why my top 3 are in the top 3, because they're very different sounding. It has that difference there, but it's still got that pop aspect to it, which isn't a bad thing, but it's because it sounds like stuff we've heard like a little bit before, and that's why she's just under for me.
So let's hope that Kasumi can continue to shine like a diamond. At number 2, we have Starlight by Karin Asaka. I have this ranked just a little bit below it. I have this at number 3. For me, I find this song is down to personal preference, because I like the electrical like beat of it. I love the sound. I love like the electricity and the energy. I love the like almost like the sexy quality to it as well. It's just something that for me personally I quite like. Where do you have it ranked?
I rank this as my number 2. I absolutely love this song. I love the techno beat in there. I feel like it has so much personality. I love the more mature tones. I'm glad that this is like, we finally got like a bit more of a mature idol. And in my opinion, it's how idols are supposed to be like untouchable in the sense of being pure. This has that untouchability aspect to it, but has that in a completely different way, so almost so sexy it's completely untouchable. And I really like that we're going into that kind of tone with the character for a change. I also thought that it sounded very like K-pop-y. It really reminded me of like a K-pop song.
It reminds me of sort of as well like Maki, like when she did Daring. Like I'd love to see a duet between these two, like maybe doing Daring or Starlight.
Or have her in the Soldier Game like gang, like that would
that'd be cool.
That would be a really cool.
We'll have to try that when All Stars comes over. As well, I think like her voice is just very commanding. Like I think the background track, it is in perfect harmony with her voice, I find, and I find her voice, it's not the issue with Rina where I found at times the music was like overpowering her. I found that Karen's voice almost like commands the track.
Which is very like much like what her objective is, if that makes sense. She's a very confident girl who knows what she wants and knows like who she is, and that's why I'm so glad that we've got like an idol character that's like that. I'm glad that we've got a girl that is confident, she's beautiful, she knows that she's great kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's not in like a like Miko kind of way where it's like, oh, I'm the number 1 idol. It's very like, oh, I'm great, but also I want everyone else to be great too. It's very a sincere like greatness.
The reason I have this at 3 and not like above the first 1 or 2 is just down to, as I said, it's mostly down to personal preference. Like I can see like the techno vibe and sort of like the electricity being off-putting. And also I do feel like maybe the songs, it can come off as maybe a little bit too repetitive. I would love to do a count on how many times Starlight is mentioned. You got any issues? Like, this isn't your number 1, is it?
This is the thing of like, I don't have any issues with it. It just so happens that there's another character,
the other song is
like
just
another
so much better.
That not even so much better. Just I like the message of both of these because my number 2s are both like a very confident song. But again, this is more of a confidence in yourself with a little confidence with the audience, whereas my number 1 is confidence entirely on you because the character knows that they're confident. If that makes sense.
All right, and we'll find out that number 1 shortly. As such, there can be only number 1, and that is Mattre Going by Ai Miyashita. So where did you have her ranked?
She's ranked at my number 1 on both of my lists. She never changed. She's my absolute favourite. I love her. I love this song. It's amazing. I'm not usually for the like really popsy cutesy ones, but this one has like not vaporwave style to it, but almost like kind of techno but cutesy at the same time. I really love the cute little English that she sings. I really like the message behind the song. If you can keep going, you deserve happiness. Like, hey, I'm here for you to help you and support you. I've always loved the Lovelive songs that are a bit more like that, and it's just so cute. And I love I so much.
So I have her ranked number 2, so average all, that bumps her up to number 1. Yeah, I think this is a really great song. Like, as soon as I hear the song, I start smiling, start wanting to clap along. It's super energetic, genki. I feel like it's sort of like the strength of like the earlier songs but while also like showing a lot of her personality as well. Like she's very punny. Obviously her name's Ai, and at the start she goes Aichitaro, saying that she loves you. Again, there's a lot of character in this song, I find.
She's very cute and it's very sweet, and it's really one that can get you like in the mood. Like, I think this song is a song that no matter what mood I'm in, if I'm feeling down, I play this song, I like listen to it, read the lyrics a little bit, and it's something that like instantly gets to me. And when I was originally listening to this the first time, it had the most immediate reaction to me of I actually started like tearing up a little bit, because I'm someone that gets like quite upset, so it's nice to have like someone supporting you, I guess, even if it's like a virtual idol, like not a real idol, but the song is something that can get you pumped and even cheer you up.
I think this would definitely be fun to dance to.
Yeah.
This would be a fun song to dance to, and again, it's similar to this one and Diamond, which I both have ranked 1 and 2. These were the two that when I was listening to them for the first time, they were the two that instantly stuck out to my head. And I find that they both would be perfect songs for lives. They'd be perfect to watch, perfect to interact with. And in particular, as I said, like Mattre Going, it just makes you want to get up and start dancing like that.
Yeah, I think it would be a really fun one to play on like Staple All Stars as well. I can imagine it being like really fun, like having to move your fingers quite a lot. Oh, it's just a perfect song.
The reason, as I said, I like Diamond more is this is a song that it feels very set. Like we get like the Genki playful character, but that's kind of it. And there's not enough depth in the song to make it my number 1. But as I said, like yeah, it's a really, really good song.
I mean, with me of like, I'm not usually one for Genki characters, but there was just something about Ai that was like so different in this song for me. I don't know whether it was the fact of her cutesy like funniness and playfulness within the song is what made me like it as well. This one, yeah, has always been like my number 1, and I don't think it's ever going to change, and I think in a couple of years this is still going to be one of my favourites.
And that's Ai Miyashita at number 1, Mattre Going. So that is in conclusion. We've seen all our rankings. I will have them up on the screen, but just to go through them one last time. For me, Heroine at number 9, Nemureru Mori ni Ikitai at number 8, Yume no Ippo at number 7, Evergreen at number 6, Doki Pipo Emotion at number 5, Chase at 4, Starlight at 3, Mattre Going 2, and Diamond number 1.
So for my list is Anata no Riso no Heroine is 9, Yume no Ippo is 8, Doki Pipo Emotion is 7, Evergreen is 6, 5th is Nemureru Mori ni Ikitai na for 5, 4 is Diamond, 3 is Chase, 2 is Starlight, and number 1 is Mattre Going.
And then the combined list will be Heroine at number 9, Yume no Ippo at 8, Doki Pipo at 7, Nemureru at 6, Evergreen at 5, Chase at 4, Diamond at 3, Starlight at 2, and Mattre Going at number 1. And if you would like, please post up your rankings or how you consider your list up on the comments. We'd very much like to hear from you, in particular what you thought of your opinions of the song and even of our lists. Thank you and goodbye.